Hi, guys, and welcome to day 7 of my 12 days of Christmas vlogmas. I know it's after Christmas, but I'm intended to finish this. So here we go. If you hear echo, that's because I'm recording from my bathroom. My 2-year-old won't let me be great, so I had to come hide in the bathroom. Anyways, welcome to day 7 of my 12 days of Christmas vlogmas, and before we continue, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell for any new video that comes out. Yeah, so let's get into it. Today I would like to discuss jobs. I wanted to discuss the type of jobs, or the five top 5 jobs people do here, but it's kind of hard to do because unlike America, it's really hard to get a job here. There's not a lot of options. Whereas again, I'm not here to compare and contrast. I'm not here to complain. I'm just merely stating the obvious. It's kind of hard to see to tell what kind of jobs are here because there really aren't any, and that's my thing with Africa. There are no jobs for the youth. The youth get encouraged to go to school, go to school, go to school, go to school, do well, do well, and then they graduate from school. A lot of them don't have jobs. There are no jobs. Shout out to my little brother Henrik. And I'm just bringing him up because it's really common in the States. He's in his last year of college. He's doing computers engineer, and he already has a job offer. He already has a job offer waiting for him. They offered him the job since earlier this year. He should have been He should have graduated this month, but because of COVID, so it's been pushed to May. But like I'm saying, in Africa here, people go to school. People are very, very, very educated, very learned. Especially the youth. Their parents spend a lot of money to send them to school, but there are no jobs when they get out of school. And and it's just so unfortunate and so heartbreaking because it's like you spend all this money to go to school, and you get out of school, you graduate sometimes with flying colors, with honors, and there are no jobs. Whereas America, you can make a living off of working at McDonald's, depending on the state you're in. Because I moved from Minnesota, and some of the McDonald's and Burger Kings out there in the rural areas of Minnesota, they pay up to $15 an hour, just as a staff, not even as a manager. So that's one of the downsides to here. You have people that are very, very learned, but they go to college, go to universities, but they can't get a job. They can't get a job. So I'm gonna be discussing the things that I've noticed people been doing for a job, and talking to friends, and friends of family friends, all of that. The number one thing that I see that people do for work here is hawking. Hawking is the number one. And hawking is where you have people selling stuff on your head in the middle of the streets, or in the middle of traffic. Let's say if there's a stoplight somewhere, you'll see them hanging out in the median or on the side of the road. And these are young people. Some are young, some are old, some are even kids, like 10, 12, 13, 14. Some are in their early 20s and stuff like that. And when you talk to some of them, their English is very polished. And they sound really good. They sound like they've at least been to high school, but here they are in the middle of the street hawking. Again, this is not a complaint video. This is not a comparison video. This is just the reality of how things are in Africa. Yes, Ghana is growing. Yes, Ghana is on the rise. Yes, Ghana is doing really good, but there's still not jobs. There are still no jobs. Like I'm saying, like in the States or in Europe or somewhere, you could have a college student that already has a job waiting for them before they even graduate from college. Like my common example I gave my younger brother, he's he should have been starting his job come next month, but because of COVID, they're holding it for him till June. He's already been offered a job at a company that he did his internship at. So, he has a job waiting for him in his field when he graduate, well above what he expected to get paid. So that's the disadvantage here. A lot of these kids go to school, but they don't have means of getting a job or even working in their field of study. So the number one thing I've noticed here that people do for work is hawking, just to sustain themselves. You'll see a lot of hawking, and you know, it's in the hawking. There's no special set of people, or special gender, or whoever, or special age group. It's all ages, all gender, and they're just in the streets selling from food. Like you could literally sit in Accra's traffic and eat lunch in the car. You can buy groceries for your house. You can buy. I saw somebody in the traffic one time with pillows and bed sheets, on their head, carrying it around, selling. You could actually buy everything that you need for every part of your home in sitting in the traffic and not cry. You don't even have to get out of your car and go to a store. So I know I remember I bought a roll of paper towel in the traffic one time. I bought a pack of toilet tissue in the traffic once. So that's what hawking is. Hawking is when people sell in the street, like when the traffic slows down, or when the traffic comes to a stop, because there's a lot of traffic in Accra. I don't know where it comes from, but there's always traffic, always. So they'll wait on the sides of the road, or in the medium. If there's a medium in the road, they'll wait there, and then when the traffic comes to a stop at a traffic light, they'll jump. Everybody jumps in the street. They sell from bottled waters, sachet waters. I mean everything. You can even get stuff like cookies, fruits. Like I said, I saw somebody selling pillows, kids' toys. You can get it all in the traffic. So that's the number one thing, a lot of people turn to when they've graduated from university or college and they can't get a job. They turn to hawking. So that's the number one thing. Number two is I don't really have a number because, like I said, I try to compile a list, and I really couldn't come up with any, because unfortunately, unlike America, Africa is not somewhere where you can just go and apply for a job and get it. All my jobs that I work at in America, I just Google job in my field, and they came up and I applied. Or Indeed, like we use Indeed in America. You search on Indeed for a job in your field of study or whatever you're doing. It can be McDonald's or home health aide or CNA. And if you search on Indeed with the keyword, you'll get a list of jobs that come up. You can apply right there on Indeed, and you'll get a job. But here it's not that simple. A lot of the times before you can get a job somewhere, you either have to know somebody that works there. It's either gonna be a family member, a friend, something. You can't just be any old average Joe that walks off the street and go into an establishment and apply for a job and get it. It doesn't work like that here, and it's just so sad. you know. So yeah, so a lot of people, and even sometimes, even if you have the connections to get the job, or somebody that works somewhere, you still can't even get the job. So just to be able to survive and sustain themselves, a lot of people turn to hawking. They sell everything in the traffic. You may not see it on like a busy highway, but you'll see it. I've seen it a lot on the Kaswa Road, especially near the toll booth. There's a lot of hawking that goes on there. They have their stuff set up in the medium or on the sides of the road. So it's over by the Kaswa toll booth. There's a lot that goes on La Paz Highway or La Paz Road, because on La Paz Road there's a bunch of traffic lights there. So when the cars stop at the traffic light, you see them rush into the traffic trying to sell whatever they have. Where else? So that's and some other places I can't remember. Those are the two places I can remember off the top of my head. The second, the number two thing is just selling, like selling on the side of the road, like selling food. It's a lot of street food. It's a lot of street food. Or what we Americans call fast food, which is something like well, I wouldn't say McDonald's, but like what a food truck would be, but except they're not in a truck, they just have their stuff set up on the side of the road. Whether it's, I've seen people that sell just in the morning, they'll sell like breakfast food, or people that will just sell in the nights, evenings, from like they'll start setting up from like 5, and to get ready for to serve dinner. So that's another thing I've seen people do. I've seen really, I remember one time I went to a bar, when we're at our Airbnb while we got our house ready. I went to a bar. My husband and I went to a bar, and I wanted to eat. I wasn't really hungry. I just like street food. So I saw that they had like a lot of street food vendors on the side of the road. And I decided to go and eat wache. And the girl that was selling the wache, very young girl, very beautiful, very, 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 very pretty. And she recognized me from another time when I was jogging, and she saw me. She was like, "Oh, I saw you the other morning. Were you this in person?" And when she talked to me and told me where she recognized me from, I was kind of surprised because she spoke English so well. Not and that's the good thing. Like you get 90% of Ghanaians that know how to speak some form of English, even if it's broken English. They all know how to speak English here. And I was really surprised that her English was so fine and polished. And I'm like, oh wow, you know. I said to her, "You speak English so well." She's like, "Yes, madam. I graduated from university." And I'm like, "Then what are you doing selling?" She said, "Oh, madam, I have to survive." So I was like, wow. And one thing I like about them, they're never too proud. They're never, ever, ever too proud to do what they need to do to survive. And she and I chatted. She's like, "Yeah, I just have to do what I need to do to survive." She said, "I graduated from university. It was 3 years. I wasn't getting anything, so I decided to start selling, to start making food and selling." And she was doing good because she sold wache. And um, you know, I didn't ask her how much she made a night because I felt it was too personal. But yeah, so a lot of people, you'll see a lot of street vendors selling food. And these are just food that they prepare at their houses in large quantities, and they come to the side of the street and sell it. And you'll see the number three thing is, number one is hawking, number two is food, street vendors. Number three, is cleaner. I've seen a lot of cleaners in the mall, on the streets. But those I've usually seen like mostly older people that will do it. Um, I've seen a lot of cleaners. I've seen a lot of number four. Maybe I would put number four and number one on the same level. You'll see a lot of domestic staff. Um, a lot of and like I said again, a lot of these are like young people. Because I'm in my mid 30s, and a lot of them are in like their early 20s, mid 20s to late 20s, and they're either a domestic staff, like a house help, or a security, or a gate boy. You see a lot of those. It's just simply because they've graduated from school, and they can't get a job. So just to survive, they'll either become a house help, security, just some form of domestic staff, sometimes a professional driver. And the fifth thing I've noticed that number five will be taxi driver. Either a taxi driver or a bike, a motorcycle, which most of them, they're trying to stop people from riding motorcycle because it's so dangerous. But I've noticed that most of them use their motorcycle for delivery, because it's fast. You can weave in and out of traffic with it. So yeah, I've seen a lot of them do taxi driving, bus driving, trotro mate. I've seen a lot of young guys do trotro mates. Yeah, so those are the five things: hawking, food, selling food on the side of the streets, whether it's in the morning or at night. Cleaner. There are a lot of, I've noticed like a lot of the cleaners over here at the mall are usually like young people, like in their 20s to 30s. Um, Taxi driver, boat driver, Uber driver, delivery guy, or food delivery, because they're getting where they're delivering food. Now you order your food from a restaurant and they get one of those bike riders to deliver it to you. I remember when I did Freeze Party earlier this month. I made a cake for her. I was gonna go pick it up, but then I didn't have time to just leave and go pick up the cake. So the lady that made the cake, she was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll give it to my delivery guy." So the guy came and he was on a bike with a kind of like a box on the back of his bike, and he delivered the cake and it was fine. So yeah, you'll see a lot of bus mates, like the driver drives, and then there's the guy that's at the back of the bus that collects the money and make sure people are at their right stop. If they need to stop, alert the bus driver. That's what a trotro mate is. Trotro mate. Just to sidetrack for a little bit, the trotro driver and the trotro mate, I think that is one of the most underrated, and I wouldn't say underrated, but I think it's a fascinating relationship that they have. It's a very, 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 very fascinating relationship that they have. It's like they work so well together, because when you're on a trotro, if you need to stop, you can't just yell, drive a bus stop. It doesn't work like that. You have to let the mate know where you're stopping, and then he's gonna alert the bus driver. It's so fun to watch them. I'm intrigued by their relationship. The mates, the trotro mates and the bus driver. I'm really intrigued by their relationships. So yeah. You'll see a lot of taxi drivers, young, old. Well, when it comes to the taxi driving, you have the older generation, older men that drive taxi, and then you have the younger ones that drive boats. But the thing here is, a lot of these cars that they are driving are not even their own cars. They get these cars maybe on a lease, or maybe somebody has a spare car and they go in to tell them that, oh, let me use your car for boats. Boat is their form of Uber here. They also have Uber here, but they have their own called Bolt. It's like another one, but I can't remember that one. So you have the older guys, the older generation, older guys like 50, 40s, 50s, 60s driving taxis, and you'll have the younger ones, 30s, early 30s, late 20s, early 20s driving boats. So you'll see a lot of those, but yeah, it's just that's the form of work I've noticed here. And it's a little bit, and with the females, like I said, the females will mostly either cook and sell food on the side of the road, or or do domestic staff work, do like a house girl, house help, housemaid. That's what you see a lot of the females will do. Not that they are not educated, but they're very learned, very educated, but they just can't find a job. They can't find a job, so they go to that. Yeah, so those are some of the common things that people do for work, hawking, uh, selling food on the side of the road. Sometimes too, another common thing I've noticed is working in a chub bar, like a local restaurant. Working in a chub bar as servers, or those that pound the fufu for the guys, and the girls who work as servers or working in a bar. But that's not as common. But yeah, those are the things I've noticed that people do for work here.